trying to figure out how this gonna be paid, how this probably gonna be fixed. Now your car making a sound, you just got paid. You don't have the time for this. Your baby's sick now. You gotta take days off work, which you can't even afford because you gotta afford this. Life without God is so hard. It don't make no sense. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, it's just undamn bearable.
I wanna be drowned by fire, purified.
Hi you guys, it's your girl Amber, back with another episode of Amber and the Truth, where we expose the truth, the gospel truth that is. Today I thought I'd do a sit down video. I haven't done one of those in a minute other than my reactions, but today I thought I'd do a sit down video on my life currently, my life before God, my life after God, because I want people to understand the life that they're living. You don't have to live it. You chose to live this life. Yes, you. I know you're probably like, okay, I chose for my mother to be on drugs. I chose for my daddy to go to jail. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the woes of life are going to happen. But you're choosing to not have any comfort. You're choosing to not have any help. That's the part you're choosing. You're choosing to rely on yourself when you don't even have to. Like, I wish I would rely on myself to fix things in my life. That is too much now that I know what it's like to not have to do that. Like, that's doing the most. Like, that's doing the most. I wasn't always living for God. If you knew me, you know who I was. I wasn't even living for God around this time last year. Was not. Was doing me. But yeah, like, okay, so I'm gonna start off with my early life. I was raised in the church. Went to church every Sunday and plays and, you know, Bible study, whatever days where grandma dragged me to, that's where I went. And I was pretty much forced. Didn't understand it, really didn't get it, but I knew that's where we had to be, was church. So when I got into my teenage years, 13, 14, 15, I didn't want to go to church no more. My grandma said I didn't have to. She was like, okay, you can stay home. You old enough to stay home now. You can stay home and do you. Cool. So I didn't go to church for a minute. It wasn't until maybe 17. Yeah, maybe like I was 16 years old when I started going back to church again and getting into it, and not getting into it, but, you know, just getting into the routine of going back again, right? And I just found myself still like, this is lame for me. Like, I didn't like it. I felt like I wanted to go, and then when I would go, I would be bored there, wouldn't quite understand what's going on, but I'm just there. Annoyed me, because I was just like, okay, I'd rather be somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? Doing something other than being here. You know, I grow up, graduate high school, go to college, and in the midst of these few short years between my high school graduation and college, I'm in a relationship with this, with my future husband, by the way. I'm in a relationship with my future husband, and that relationship ends. And that was my first love. That was the first person I've ever loved, truly and wholeheartedly. So when that ended, I don't know how to handle it. I was immediately depressed. I didn't want to live. Like, nigga, I was like, if I can't be in a relationship with him, what's the point of walking on this earth anymore? Like, but like, I was serious. Like, I was in my feelings. Like, I didn't know how to handle it. Like, I wasn't taught how to handle my feelings and emotions. He was the first person to ever show me actual true love. Like, and I'm not even talking about romanticism. I mean, just affection. I grew up in a house where there was no affection. There was no hugs. There was no I love yous. You knew you were loved because you ate food that day, you know. So he was the first person to show that to me. So when he left, or when he stopped talking to me, stopped messing with me, that devastated my whole world. I was like, what the hell? So I was depressed, suicidal, you know what I'm saying? My first year of college was the worst year of my life. 2013 to 2014, I was just major depressed. I didn't know what to do with myself, how to go about nothing, my nigga. Like, I was just out there, just lost, you know. one of my mentor today, you know, my sister's best friend, she looks at me and she starts asking me about church. And I was like, you know, church is cool or whatever. I want to go, but then when I get there, I don't want to be there no more. And, you know, she starts being inquisitive, asking me why, and start telling me things about the Lord and everything, right? And she scares the hell out of me, because I never had a problem believing God was real. I knew he was real, because it just, like, how am I here if he's not real? Like, how am I physically here? I know because of my parents, but like, how are humans here? Somebody had to be made for the rest of us to be here. So that was never an issue to me. It's just I didn't know anything else beyond that. She's like began to tell me about the Lord and how I'm living my life and how you should be saved because you don't want to go to hell and you really want to live your best life for real, for real. And I was terrified, so I immediately got saved. You know, I was low-hanging fruit. I was depressed. I was sad. I needed someone to save me, because I don't know. I probably would have actually committed the suicide. I don't know. Of course, I don't think I would hurt myself, but you know, when the devil's in your mind telling you to do all type of stuff, to feel all type of stuff, you do. The world works strangely, spiritually. I'm speaking in the spiritual realm right now. So the devils and demons run this world. God is the overseer of the entire earth. But he allows the devil to run his muck, to do his deed, to do his worst right now. Because eventually everything has a time and a place when it's going to end. So right now he can run amok and do what he wants. So there's different demons over different cities. And LA's demon is way different than the city that I'm in right now. So when I was here, I felt good. I felt, you know, great. Like I felt light on my feet, you know, like, I don't know, like something changed. You know, my depression was gone, and I moved when I went right back out to LA to go back to school, you know, Christmas break is over, I get sucked back into sinful life. Living in LA was the worst time of my life, and I'm being dead honest, because the blessings I have now, I would have been, she's a runner, she's a track star, I'd have been left LA. Like, if I knew what my life would be like right now, I would have never stayed. I would have came back home. Like, I can't even begin to like express like how different it is. But anyway, life is just whooping me. Like, instead of like, LA was whooping me, nigga, like whooping me. It was just a lot. Like, okay, so bills was hard to pay. I couldn't keep a job. Like, I have a very hard work ethic. Like, I work really hard, and the fact that I work hard means that I'm not gonna go half-ass something, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it fully. Like, the OCD in me, I have to complete the task. So LA was just whooping me, like, nigga, like, okay, so I had to choose between working and going to school, because I was in college at the time, and I lived off campus. I had bills to pay. I had a full load to pay. Rent, nigga. I had to pay lights, electric. I had to pay heat. Had to pay a water bill on top of my rent, on top of my groceries, on top of having, you know, money for transportation using the bus, or having food to eat at the school. Like, that was the struggle. I had to choose between working or going to school, and eventually I chose working, because working paid my bills. Working kept me fed for the most part. Then figure out where I'm gonna get the extra money to pay all these extra bills. It was just so hard. It didn't make sense. Like, it's like every step I took forward, I literally got threw back 3 more steps. And and honestly, I was doing that for about a good 5 years. It was like every time I stood up, here you go. Every time I stood up, every time, And the 5th year, I done damn got tired now. I done got tired by the 5th year. I was like, okay, I'm over this. Like, that's when 2020 hit. You know what I'm saying? It was about time to bounce about. But before then, 5 years before, I was just going through the motions of like getting a job, saying what I need from this job, the hours I need from this job, what I need for you guys to do for me, and I promise I will do for you back. Never got reciprocated. Started working 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Next thing you know, I'm 2 weeks into the job, 3 weeks into the job, and I'm only working 1 day. When I told y'all I need money to pay my bills, like, this isn't gonna work. I cannot work 1 day. I'm not gonna be able to eat, not gonna be able to even have the money to get the bus to come to this job or anything like that. It's almost like that. It was built like that so I could come back, because that was every single job I've ever had in Los Angeles. It was that same pattern for 5 years straight. Get a job, work hard. 2-3 weeks in, only got 1 day and I can't feed myself, can't pay my bills. Trying to figure out how to function, you know what I'm saying? Eventually I get in another relationship and he moves in, in November. We met in June, or yeah, April, May, June, July, August, September. So for 4 months we known each other and he moves in. So, you know, he moves in with me and, you know, he helps me pay my bills and whatever and whatnot. And it goes smooth from there for the most part, but I still find myself struggling. Like, he is making, what's crazy is that this like my experience is in the food industry, right? So I'm sitting up here trying to find a manager's job because I know I can do it. I know I can manage. You know what I'm saying? And the few chances that I got were null and void. My first chance was at Chick-fil-A. They let me go on day 2 and never told me why. And every time I tried to reapply for just a regular standard Chick-fil-A job, they would literally hire me and then in the hiring process tell me they can't hire me no more and never told me why. I believe Chick-fil-A is like some devil type stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you, because anyway, truly Christian, that's that big? Yeah, right. And so Chick-fil-A was a dub, and then I'm just trying to look for a job that betters me. My boyfriend at the time, who has never worked in the food industry, happens to get a manager job in the food as a manager, food manager. I'm sitting there like, guys, you got to be playing. You got to be playing with me, sir. Cause what? He don't know nothing about food. I've been working in the food industry since I was 16 years old. And he managed to get the job with the manager, and then I happen to find that same exact employer, and I happen to get cashier. Regular worker. I'm sitting up there like, bro, this cannot be happening to me. Like, not that I don't want him the boss of me, but the fact that he happens to get a job that he is not even experienced in and I couldn't find it. I couldn't get it. That pissed me off. I was like, all right, cool. So like, I'm over it. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, take me now, Lord, take me now, basically. Figure out how to get back on my feet or whatever. It's just, it gets destroyed. Like, when you live your life without God, it is so hard. It don't make no damn sense how hard life is without God. It's almost like the devil wants us to kill ourselves because it don't make, nigga, you got bills, you got classes, you got a car that you gotta take care of. Like, all of a sudden got a check engine light on. All of a sudden got a flat out tire. All of a sudden I got a ticket. They put a boot on your car. You can no longer drive your car, nigga. And LA is the type of city that tax you everywhere you look, every which way you go. It don't matter. They getting money out of you somehow. Nigga, you live in a place, they gonna charge you to park your car there because you live there. That's just LA. They charge you for everything. There's nothing free in that city. So it's just, it's overwhelming about how hard life is without him, because I don't understand how you're doing it, because I did it. I lived my life without God for some time. Like, I've lived my life without God longer than I've lived my life with God. And just a little bit that I've been living with him, bruh, if I would have known, like, God knows my heart. He knows, if I would have known about how great life would be right now, I would have been left. Ski that deal. I would have left out 5,000. Like, the fact that you have to worry about your parents dying, a new bill that need to be paid, this car payment, who gonna pay the phone bill, is the light still on, is the water running, look at your kids, they leave your presence, they leave your sight, you automatically worried. That's too much to focus on. And then the devil got the world thinking that's the norm. We're supposed to have all that on our plate. We are not supposed to have all that on our plate. We're not supposed to go through this much stress. We're never meant to live this life. We were never meant to live this life like this. It is stressful. There's not a single person walking this earth breathing that thinks life is great. Because when you do what you want to do, life's horrible. It's almost like you at a stance with life. And you boxing with life. And life is kicking your ass. It is whooping you. You are black and blue and bleeding. And yet you get up, teeth missing, eye swollen, blood dripping, ready for a couple more rounds because you think that this is how life is supposed to go. You think that this is the norm. Everybody else going through it, so I guess I gotta go through it. You know those memes and those Twitter, damn it, what is Twitter? Twitter posts I be seeing that be like, I know I wasn't just meant on this life just to pay bills and die. Sweetie, you're not built on this life just to pay bills and die. But the devil got everybody's mind so twisted and so messed up, thinking that this is the way life's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be hard. That's just what it is. Life's a bitch. How it's not. I struggled. I barely ate when I was in LA. I was a smooth, I was smaller than my high school size because I was starving. I had no food. Had to choose between paying my bills or eating. I paid my bills, of course. I ran up credit card debt because I didn't have enough money to feed myself, so I had to use my credit card to feed myself. Like, bro, nothing about my life without God was great. Not a single, not a little bit. Nigga, it took me 5 years to get my license. That means I never ran across anybody with a car. And if they had a car, they used it way too much to let me use. They had to go to work themselves. They had things to do themselves, so they couldn't just let me use it. And then I never had enough money to even apply. Sometimes I didn't have the money to apply. I would, for the written, you start the application off by taking your written and then trying to get your license. It was so complicated, nigga. Like, it didn't make sense how hard. It's almost like roadblockers were set up just so I could fail. Like, it felt so strategic, like going against the grain. It was so hard. Like, and I know you know what I'm talking about because you're going through it right damn now. Trying to figure out how this gonna be paid, how this probably gonna be fixed. Now your car making a sound, you just got paid. You don't have the time for this. Your baby's sick now. You gotta take days off work, but you can't even afford because you gotta afford this. Life without God is so hard. It don't make no sense. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, it's just undamn bearable. And I just don't understand how I did it or how you continue to do it. This thinking about it give me anxiety all over again. Why? My life is great. Like, I can't give God enough praise. If I had 1,000 tongues, that still ain't enough. Like, my life is so good right now. It is beyond blessed for no reason, because I don't deserve it. I ain't done nothing to deserve the greatness that He has given me, except for be faithful. But even then, my righteousness is filthy rags to Him. Okay, yeah, you give me that little bit. And then He blesses us tenfold. That don't even make sense. That's why I love Him, because don't deserve it, yet you're giving it to me. What? Every need that I have had since my life with God has been met tenfold. I grew up without my mother, thinking that she didn't love me, thinking that, she just chose whatever life she chose to live without me. Like, she was selfish. She didn't want her. God has allowed me to have clear and full understanding that my mother does love me. She told me to my face and she hugged me. I didn't know how much I needed that, but God knew how much I needed that. Boom. Forgiven. I love my mother. Like, what do you mean? Like, okay, car, food, my mother, what else? Money, what else? God is blessed. The fact that I can start my own business. I'm starting my own business. And I'm not just starting it because I thought of it. Of course I thought of it, but of course I've talked to my Father about it first. I spoke to God about it. I was like, Lord, let me know if I should do this thing before I get excited about it, because the Lord knows me, I get excited about something before I even have permission to do it. Dang. So He gave me permission to do it, and I know it's going to be a success because He said it is. Period. So not only am I going to have my own form of income by me, I'm not going to have to work for anybody. I have more money than I need currently right now. Every single one of my needs are met. We are spiritual beings first. We are not physical beings first. We are spiritual beings first. Meaning we have to feed ourselves spiritually before we do physically. We do. That's how it works. Everything God gives me is spiritually for the most part. He talks to me And I get it. And I don't make a single decision in my life without consulting God first. I ain't made a wrong move yet. I ain't made a mistake yet, simply because I'm following his will. I understand that God to a lot of y'all is just a figment. God to a lot of y'all is just a being that runs this world. But he is an integral part to how you live your everyday life. The fact that you walked out of that car accident and didn't die. The fact that you stepped off that curb and that car didn't hit you. Or the fact that you found this $100 on the ground right when you needed it. Even when you don't even know him, he's out there helping you. And you up here blaspheming him, saying he don't exist, saying he don't love you, saying all type of stuff, letting the devil convince you of whatever. Here's the thing, a lot of you grew up in hypocritical households. A lot of you grew up in a household similar to mine, to where they told you to trust God for everything, lean on God for everything. But the person who told you to do that was not doing that themselves. So, of course, trying to pray away depression seems asinine to you. Depression is very real. You can't just pray it away and da-da-da-da. It is a real thing, but it's also demonic. Nothing that you feel that is bad is normal. Depression, suicide, sadness, jealousy, that is all the devil. He got you thinking that these are normal feelings and emotions. You could have your depression going like that, your sadness going like that. Just ask him to comfort you, and you would literally just start to feel better. Like, I actually feel better. Like, I'm not sad no more. Like, you will feel better. We need him. We need him. We can't live this life without him. You see how hard it is? Just described how hard my life was, and you probably know because you're living a life as well, how hard it is without him. It don't make no sense how damn hard it is. And come on, get you some Jesus. Come on and get you some Jesus for real. I'm here to teach you how to live for him for real. I'm not just here to talk it to you, to say, okay, we'll pray about it. I'm here to teach you how to pray about it, how to trust God. There's 3 things you're going to need in order for this relationship with God to work. Faith. You got to believe he's real. Believe that his son died on the cross for your sins. Believe that he has your best interest at heart. He's not going to let nothing come for you. 2, you have to love him. Don't nobody want forced love. Don't nobody want love. They got to make you love him, make you say it. Don't nobody want that. God don't want that. He want his love to be genuine. He wants you to come to him because you genuinely love him. So we got faith. We got love. The thing is, God knows your heart. He know if you just gonna do this simply because somebody watching you. Okay, she watching me pray. Come on now. He know you. He see everything. He know everything about you. He know you, but he don't know you at the same time. Like, he know of you. That's what I would say, to put it in, human terms. He know of you. Yeah, he know of you, and that's about it. He don't know nothing about you because you don't want to take time to get to know him. Once he gets to know you, it would be so amazing about how the life works for you. You would just start meeting needs you didn't even know you could meeting wants and desires. People don't talk about that. God will give you what you desire. If it's not against his will, if it's not horrible for you, he will give you what you want. But you got to be faithful. You got to love him. You got to be obedient. I listen to God. I listen. When he tell me to do something, I listen. I act, even if I don't want to. That's my flesh going against me saying, no, don't listen to God. This feels good to do. Nah, I pray right then and there to rebuke all of that so I can obey him. Because he knows best. When he tell me to do something, not to do this, he knows best. Not because he's being a big meanie. He literally sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. So if someone who has the cheat code to life is telling you don't buy that car, don't date this man, don't date this woman, because they're going to end up doing something to you, and then you date them any damn way, or you buy the car anyway, and then you end up looking stupid, who is that to blame? You. Because you should have listened. And now you sit over here with a face plant, trying to pick your face up off the ground like, man, I wish I would have listened. Yeah. I'm not saying I don't listen. We all have our faults. I'm not perfect. I'm not sinless. But for the most part, when God tells me to do something, I do it. And that's period. So I just want to let you guys know that little snippet about me, the little stories about me, about how my life was before and with God. Like, now I'm chilling. I don't have to worry about nothing. In LA, I couldn't keep a job simply because of how the days went. Since I've had this job, when I've been home here, I have never worked no less than 3 days. No less than 3 days. That's because I don't mind the 3 days. I have my needs are met, so I don't really care about how many hours I'm working here. I don't care if they give me more or give me less, simply because my needs are met. But that's another thing I don't have to care about trying to pay something. I don't have to care about paying bills. Like, I don't have to try. I don't have to care, because it ain't my responsibility. It's the Lord's. So again, get on Team Jesus, and their life will go better. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up for your girl. If you got any stories you want to tell me, or if you want to know how to get to Jesus, put in comments below. Hit me up on my social media. We can have this talk and help you get to salvation. But until then, I will see you, or you see me, next time. Bye.